welcome back to the 13th Destiny Podcast with Magnum. I am your host, James Magnum Cook, and I have returned. Yes, it's been a while. Very sorry that I've been away. Had some exhaustion going on, then some sickness going on, and I'm over pretty much everything for the most part. Having a little bit of a sinus infection apparently now. As you may have noticed, my voice is a little different. For the most part, you can tell it's me, but obviously still dealing with this after effects of everything else that I have gone through in recent couple of weeks. So anyway, I'm feeling much better, and I am back for the podcast, and feeling good about this, and hope I have some pending guests with my original co-host out here. So we are just about ready to start doing some guest shows, and that should start really soon, and I'm excited about that. And now, as we well know, I try to stay out of the political phrase as much as possible when it comes to the podcast. However, I will say I'm not going anywhere. I think you have a right to say whatever you want, and if you have a right not to do something. So anyway, that's just the way it is, but I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere, and no little special groups or any special person and their music or anything like that is going to force my hand. I'm free to do what I want. You're free to do what you want, but I'm staying. So that's exactly the way it's going to be. And by the way, I normally try to stay out of this. Maybe somebody ought to look at a little history and see what it really means when you start trying to stop people from being able to say what they want to say in a free society. You are no longer a free society if you're not allowed to say things. And now, the other flip side of that coin, however, is if the people listening are not smart enough to do their own research and make their own decisions, that is a problem that is on the individual, not anybody else. So stop trying to force things. It's just not cool, and it never really is successful anyway, and it then causes bigger problems. So I'm going to get off that because that's my personal opinion, and I'm moving forward because I like to stay positive. All right, so we are back, and I am going to try to stay positive. And so not a guest show today, but obviously we got some guests pending, and we are going to talk about what am I going to talk about today? I think I was talking about it was going to be a story episode. So what is the story going to be today? Okay, so I don't know if anyone has ever been that's listening to the podcast. I have been to Tombstone, Arizona. The famous place, Tombstone, Arizona, and the shootout at the OK Corral with White Earp, who became a legend eventually, although there was some controversy, obviously, from that shootout. And if you know all of the history of that, so it went from one extreme to the other. Kind of were you wrong, to eventually people making him into a legend. And Hollywood had a lot to do with that, amongst other things. So, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. As I said, I'm still getting over the remnants of many things. But I don't know if you understand, so we talk paranormal, we talk ghost, and those are one of my favorite things. And then, of course, adventure, thrill seekers, all that kind of stuff, musicians, writers. So I have a lot of stuff that I want to do on the show, and I just haven't got to all of it yet. Obviously, I got some guest on and, started the show pretty good, and then went off on that, 13,000-mile across-the-country trip. And also did some filming on my latest film project, which is okay, so of course, I think if you follow the show, Mara the Vampire Princess is the movie that we are working on, and it's a interesting vampire movie. It's a little bit of different take on vampires from some different directions, and then also some of the regular vampire lore is also in the film. But we're trying to get that film finished right now, and of course, we have a new Kickstarter out there, and thank you very much to everybody there that's on that. We're about 15% funded right now. We have about 20 days out to finish that, and I appreciate all the support from the people who are supporting that. And we look to be trying to be pretty confident that we think this one will be successful, and we will start production back hopefully when spring rolls around here and it warms up a little bit. The last time I did the witch scene, which we're going to reshoot some of that, it was cold, and believe me, the actors and models and stuff that were in those scenes, and us too, it got to be a pretty cold night. When we started, it wasn't too bad, but by the time we got finished, it was pretty cold. Not as cold as it's been lately here in Kentucky, but it was cold. And I apologize if my voice is coming across a little cracky, because as I say, I'm still trying to heal up from the last remnants of all this stuff that I've had going on, including the final, apparently, I got the sinus infection afterwards, so... But anyway, so we're doing that, and so back to Tombstone, Arizona. So Tombstone, Arizona is so interesting in so many different ways. And like I said, I have been there, and a lot of it during the day is really geared towards the tourist, and but it's still a very interesting and historical place. But the other side, the flip side of this, is, and if you don't know this, is there are the ghost of Tombstone, Arizona is, and there was a lot of people that were killed at Tombstone, Arizona area in that region. Not just the big shootout at the OK Corral, although that was, but there were other shootings and people that were killed, and I don't think you realize, because you don't really hear about everything unless you do a lot of research. But there were other people that were killed. There was other gunfights. But obviously the OK Corral gunfight with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday and all of them was the most famous thing that put it really on the map for that situation. And again, apologize. I was just trying to get through the podcast. Woo! So apparently, still having a few little issues here, but I am trying to make it through the podcast because I really want to talk about this. What I found interesting is that there are people who have visited Tombstone, and there are other people that are around Tombstone that are well aware that there have been sightings of paranormal activity. Would be like people have seen things, apparition. What's the word? I'm sorry, I've lost my word. Well, anyways, I was going to use that word, but I've forgotten the word all of a sudden. Sorry. Like I said, I'm still trying to get over the last remnants of this. But anyway, it's basically ghost. I'll just say it's a ghost. And anyway, and they do have paranormal. I think they have a paranormal tours there too, if I remember correctly. And so you can do that, but that's kind of the tour thing. But there is other activity I've heard in that region. I've also heard of people who have been on some of the roads in that area that I've been on. I have also seen things that would be paranormal activity. So I would venture to say this is a very interesting thing, because it is listed actually as one of the most haunted destinations, and so there's a lot of stuff out there that's so really interesting. So I was in Tombstone. Actually, I went to Tombstone twice, and it was just it's a fascinating historical place. And then if you like the paranormal stuff, just check that out. there's a lot, and I'm not talking about just the tourist stuff, although that's very interesting too. I would tell you that I would find that very interesting too. But there is a lot of other stuff that you can research about all of the paranormal activity in that area, and it's quite fascinating, and it does lend itself to being very, very real, because we're talking so many deaths that happen in that area, far beyond just the shootout with the OK Corral, obviously, but it certainly has put Tombstone on the map many, many years ago, and it is a really nice place to visit, and if you enjoy Western stuff, and if you also enjoy this paranormal stuff. So you can, if you like both of them, it's really great. And if you like one, it's, so there's a lot of stuff there. And obviously it is geared towards tourists, and I don't have a problem with that, because I just like to be honest about that is the truth. But there is so much history and so much paranormal activity also in that area. It's just a couple of things that I really liked, and I really enjoyed visiting Tombstone, Arizona, both times. The second time I got to do a little bit more, but then I had to head on back to Texas. But anyway, it was a really, really good time, and I just enjoyed all the history there, and then finding out about the paranormal stuff too was just kind of a bonus, considering the things that I like. And obviously, sometimes I talk about things that I like, but also some of the people that follow the show and listen to the show, and certainly some friends that I know that follow the show find some of this stuff fascinating about the travels and the paranormal and the history, and so beyond the movies and beyond the tourist stuff, the paranormal activity in the area is quite significant from all indications of the research I have done, and the things that I've looked at. And there are multiple ghost stories for that area. So, if you've got an interest in that, you should check that out. And I do recommend, if you've never been to Tombstone, Arizona, visiting Tombstone, Arizona. It is fascinating for the history, and yes, like I said, it is a tourist thing. It is, it has become a tourist thing, and that's something that's well known for, outside of Arizona. But Arizona obviously gets a lot of revenue from people going to Tombstone, Arizona, and believe me, I had a good time. So you will have a good time, and they do have a lot of reenactments there, and that's a good thing. And I'm trying to remember. There's so many stories. I wish I could remember them off the top of my head, because, like I said, I am still healing up from all this. But there's I'm trying to give me a minute. I'm trying to find this book. I think this book may be available on Amazon and some other places. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. It is actually available on Amazon. So the book is called Ghost Towns and Gunfights, Images of American Arizona. And it was published back in, looks like, May yeah. Sorry. See, I'm still trying to get over all this. My apologies. May of 2009. It is available on Amazon. Very few copies left, apparently. But I do know that there's a lot of information in that, the history and some of the, about the ghost towns. There's not the paranormal's not in this one. This is more. I don't think so. If I remember correctly, I think this is got some of the history. But it'll lead you into some other stuff. And let's see. There are a lot of ghost towns in Arizona, obviously, so that's something else along with everything else I was talking about. And there are a lot of stories of paranormal activity for where a lot of people have died, not from just gunfights and stuff like Tombstone, but other things. So anyway, I guess I was trying to look for this particular story, and I don't want to tell this story because I can't remember this whole story, and I was trying to find this story. It was a story that was told to me but I try to get all the information before, and then apparently I did not get all that information, and that's on me, and I apologize for that. But I am trying to push this because there have been like sightings by both tourists and other people that live in the area, of things that are direct paranormal activity things. Yeah. So if you want to do that and you want to go check out the history, Arizona, this particular area of Arizona and some of the surrounding areas of that area in Arizona are quite well known for that. So and there's some abandoned places too, and we have a friend who's like a brother to me that likes that kind of stuff, but those are more known, so he's more like the off the beaten path thing, but they are out there. And I did a lot of like driving across Arizona, like in the middle of nowhere when I got off of the interstate. So found a lot of things you could and I'm not saying like in the daytime, like in the evenings, like in the night. It gets a little colder, most of those climates out there, but not extremely cold. It still stays fairly hot, especially in certain times of the year, but other times it's kind of an up and down thing. People who live in Arizona kind of know that. Anyway, I got into this whole talking about Arizona because there was something about Arizona that relates to me from years ago, and but that's a totally different story. I really wish I could tell you this story. I may have to do this on another podcast. I just wanted to come on today and say that I am okay, and was going to talk about this, and I cannot. And now, I'll be honest, I am actually trying to search for this story to see and I can't find a lot of what I'm looking for, but I was told about it, and I would really like to have a little bit more research on it before I start talking about it. I did find it fascinating, so I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just me today. Maybe I'm just still not 100%, which I know I'm not really 100%. And I did go back to work on my regular job, I shall say. And that's fun, but sometimes it can be a little exhausting. So that kind of probably may have been a factor. But I just felt like getting back on here today and saying that I was okay overall. But this sinus infection just bit me at the end of a bunch of other stuff, and I'm just like, oh, really? So now we've got that. But hey, I've had them before, but this is the first one I've had in a very long time. And obviously, it's probably related to all the other being sick in recent history, but hopefully this will be completely over soon, and we'll be back to 100%. Oh, man. This story is in the region, not in Tombstone itself, and maybe that's the reason I'm having a hard time finding the rest of the information about it. I do know that it's real, but the story is real and all that, so I'm just trying to if I don't find what I'm looking for today, so I can talk about both what I was told and the other historical connections and all that stuff to it, I will do it at another time. So I guess that's going to be like a teaser for a story that hopefully I'll be able to completely tell at another time. So okay, so I guess for the most part I just got on here and talked to Dave that I'm back, and I'll have another episode coming up soon. My regional co-host Lisa Hank Williams actually sent me some stuff last night, and we are looking into having this person on the show, and of course I'm looking into another person having on the show. So we should have that done pretty soon. And I do apologize that I am not 100%. I felt a lot better with everything that had went on in recent history, but then today, last night I worked, and today, this morning, I wasn't quite feeling it, and yesterday I had a nice long conversation with my West Coast co-host Danielle, and of course she's working on a new podcast for something that she's doing related, and I will tell you she should have that up soon, and but it'll be a little different. It's not going to be under her name, so that'll be very different. But I will certainly put people over to that podcast. But where am I? I don't even know where I'm at today. Well, really, actually, I do know where I'm at. I am broadcasting from the Magnum's Models, Magnum Caliber Films ranch in Kentucky, where we do a lot of the filming on horror films and some of the photography for the models and stuff that I've worked with over the years. So I'm at that office and studio location today. But just, I don't know, I'm just trying to get through this, and I don't know, I had some messages from people that follow the show that, for saying missed me, and then asked me whether or not I was staying or if I was going to make any more episodes, and of course I am. I'm not going anywhere. I kind of enjoy it too much, but today I kind of, obviously, well, you're getting I kind of guess you're getting that side of me where I'm like, oh, I really wanted to do this, and I really want to be upbeat, and I really want to, but yeah, a lot of things have been exhausting, and the sinus infection apparently has just, kind of bit me a little bit, but I'm going to keep moving forward, and I will be back soon, and we'll do a much more, I tried to stay upbeat as possible on this one, but obviously I got out of, I'm actually going to throw this show up, but because I just wanted to let everybody know that I am back, and I will have a guest show on very soon. Hopefully multiple guest shows as we get back into the groove, whatever the word I need to use these days. I don't know. I keep losing the track of my words that I need to use, which I can't figure out why. From where I've been sick, I've had some issues trying to get my words together, but hopefully I can. Let's see if I can get this one right. Hopefully I can get it all together and I can get things back to normal and articulate a little bit better than I have today. So yeah, I actually got that word out. So anyway, so apparently I'm not completely out of whack yet. So probably just doing it with the sinus infection and having a little bit of trouble with my voice and trying to get my bearings back since I've been off for a bit. But I am back, and I will continue to move forward. Anyway, I hope you're having a positive day. And everyone, just try to be positive with everybody. This negativity on all sides is just not productive, as far as I can tell. It doesn't solve anything. So anyway, that's my final take on that one. I will be back soon with a hopefully very positive podcast, and we'll get back onto everything that we do on the 13th Destiny podcast. And, I still love every one of you, even those people that don't like me. I love you too. So I know that's hard to realize in this day and age. It's like, well, how can that be? But, I just prefer to, try to be nice. And if you can't be nice back, that's fine too. I don't really have a problem with that. That's on you more than it is on me. So anyway, have a great day. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will be back with a much, much more positive and hopefully guest show as well. But anyway, I am back, and I am staying here, and anyway, I wish all of you the best, and God bless everybody.